Marcus Reynolds was standing in the mirror of his private jet's bathroom, adjusting his expensive silk tie like he did every morning. But this time the reflection staring back at him was different, tired, empty even, despite the billions he'd made. At 45, Marcus was one of New York's top real estate developers, with skyscrapers that bore his name, yet today, none of that seemed to matter. "Sir, we'll be landing at JFK in 20 minutes, his assistant's voice pulled him back. He splashed cold water on his face, knowing he had to focus. Today was supposed to be the biggest deal of his career, a $5 billion project to reshape downtown Manhattan. No distractions, but as he slid back into his leather seat, his mind drifted to Christina, his ex-wife, the woman who walked away 5 years ago, leaving only a note that she needed to find herself. Christina Taylor wasn't like anyone in his world. She was an artist, a teacher in an inner-city school, with a smile that could light up the darkest room and a heart as big as Manhattan itself. They met 7 years ago at a charity gala. She was the only one who didn't bat an eye at his money or status. Instead, she challenged him about the lack of art programs in underprivileged schools. Their whirlwind romance scandalized the city, a black teacher from Brooklyn and a wealthy bachelor. The tabloids had a field day, but Marcus didn't care. For the first time, he'd found someone who saw the man, not the bank account. They married after 6 months, ignoring his mother's protests and the social whispers. Those 2 years were the happiest of his life. Then everything fell apart. The pressure of high society, the constant scrutiny, the subtle and not so subtle racism started wearing Christina down. The plane touched down with a soft bump, pulling Marcus from his thoughts. His phone lit up. His biggest rival, James Harrison, was threatening to steal the deal right from under him. The board meeting was in an hour. As Marcus and his assistant Sarah hurried through the private terminal, his eyes caught a figure through the glass walls, Christina. She looked more beautiful than ever, her hair braided elegantly, wearing a simple sundress that flowed effortlessly around her. But it wasn't just her presence that stopped Marcus dead in his tracks. Flanking her were 2 little boys, maybe 4 years old, with caramel skin and striking green eyes, his sons. He felt his knees go weak, reality hitting him like a freight train. Christina had been pregnant when she left, had been carrying his twins, and never told him a word. Sarah tugged at his sleeve. "Sir, we need to go." But Marcus was rooted to the floor, watching Christina kneel to tie one boy's shoelace while the other bounced excitedly, pointing at planes outside. These boys, Mike and MJ, were the spitting image of him at their age. He barely registered his own words when he said, "Cancel the meeting." Everything. His voice was steady, but inside, his world was spinning. There was something far more important than business today. He marched toward the main terminal, heart pounding. Their eyes met briefly, shock, fear, regret all swirling in Christina's gaze before she grabbed the boy's hands and tried to hurry away. "Christina," he called out, his voice carrying. She stopped and turned. The twins looked up, curiosity wide in their green eyes as they studied this man, their father. "Hello, Marcus," she said softly. "Were you ever going to tell me?" His voice cracked, heavy with years of unanswered questions. Tears welled in her eyes. "I wanted to, so many times." One of the boys tugged at her dress. "Mommy, who's that man?" Marcus's heart clenched. "We need to talk," he said firmly. She glanced around, searching for an escape, but they both knew this was overdue. "Boys," Christina said gently, "how about some ice cream?" Their faces lit up, but the pain was fresh. He'd missed every smile, every milestone. As they walked, Marcus couldn't stop looking at the boys, their height, their nose, the way one furrowed his brow, all him. "Please tell me their names," he whispered to Christina. She swallowed hard. "Michael and Marcus Jr., but everyone calls them Mike and MJ." He sat with that for a moment, a son named after him, and he'd missed 4 years. At the ice cream counter, the boys chattered happily, their joy a stark contrast to the storm inside Marcus. "Why?" was all he could ask. Christina's hands trembled. "It's complicated. I was scared, overwhelmed. Your world was suffocating me. When I found out I was pregnant with twins, I panicked. So you disappeared, kept the children from me?" His voice cracked. "They know you're a successful businessman. They ask sometimes. I have pictures. I never wanted them to think they weren't loved." Marcus ran his hand over his face. "But you didn't think I deserved to know them, to love them in person?" Before she could answer, Mike and MJ ran back to them, excited. Mommy, they have cookie dough ice cream and mint chocolate chip. Marcus made a choice then. Would it be okay if I joined you? The boys looked to their mom, who nodded slowly. Sitting with his sons, watching them dive into their treats, he silently vowed nothing would keep him from being part of their lives now. Do you like planes? He asked, remembering the earlier moment. I love them, Mike exclaimed. I'm going to be a pilot. No way. We're building tall buildings, MJ argued with a grin. Christina watched, tears glistening. The boys talked about school, friends, favorite games, wrapping themselves tighter around their father's heart with every word. When the ice cream was gone and the boys were drawing on the placemats, Marcus turned to Christina. We need to figure this out. I've missed too much. I want to be their father, really be their father. She nodded slowly, whispering, keeping them from you is wrong. I was trying to protect them from the chaos of your world, but they deserve to know their dad. Looking at his sons, perfect and real, Marcus made a silent promise to be the father they needed, no matter what it took. News of Marcus's secret twin son spread like wildfire through New York's elite. His mother, Eleanor Reynolds, nearly fainted when she saw the headline, Real Estate Tycoon Discovers Hidden Heirs at JFK. She stormed into Marcus's penthouse, demanding, Why didn't you tell me immediately? I had to find out from page 6. Marcus, still processing everything, replied, I'm handling it, Mom. Eleanor pulled out her phone. We need PR control and DNA tests. Stop, Marcus said firmly. They're mine. Those boys have my eyes, my expressions. No test needed. His mother flinched but pressed on. We need to be practical. They're their mother's children, and I was married to her, Marcus snapped, in case you forgot. Before more could be said, Sarah announced Harrison was on the line, accusing Marcus of missing meetings to manipulate stocks. Marcus loosened his tie, the deal now far less important than his family. Tell him I'll call back, Marcus said, grabbing his jacket. Where are you going? Eleanor demanded. To fix the biggest mistake of my life, Marcus replied, driving through Brooklyn to Christina's modest brownstone, a far cry from his Manhattan penthouse, but full of life and color, reflecting her artistic soul. The door opened before he could knock. Christina looked exhausted. The boys are at school, she said quietly. I know. We need to talk. Inside, the walls were lined with photos of his sons, first steps, birthdays, preschool days, moments he should have been part of. They're happy, Christina said. They have a good life, a life without their father. I want to be part of their lives, Marcus said, voice thick. I want to be their dad. Tears welled in Christina's eyes. It's not that simple. Your world. It scared me. The pressure, the spotlight. I'm not the man I was 5 years ago. Losing you changed me. Now, nothing matters more. A knock interrupted them. An older woman with kind eyes appeared. I just brought cookies the boys like. This is Mrs. Johnson, our neighbor who helps watch the boys. Mrs. Johnson's eyes widened. You're their father? I saw the news. Those boys have your eyes. Marcus smiled warmly. Thank you for looking after them. Christina sank onto the couch. See? It's already starting, the attention, the gossip. We can handle it together, Marcus assured. Tell me the truth. Why did you leave? Christina hesitated. I found out I was pregnant the night of your mother's gala. I overheard her saying she wasn't ready for mixed-race grandchildren. It broke me. Marcus felt like he'd been punched. Why didn't you tell me? You were under so much pressure. I thought I was protecting our children by staying away. Marcus reached for her hand. No empire is worth missing my children's lives. Let's fix this together. Before they could say more, the boys burst in, chattering excitedly about dinosaurs, their new teacher, and the school day. Daddy, Mike said, we learned about T-Rex. MJ added, and I drew one. Marcus's heart swelled. We'll make it work, he promised Christina, knowing the road ahead would be tough but worth every step. 2 weeks later, Marcus watched proudly as Mike roared on stage as a tiger, MJ bouncing beside him. Eleanor sat stiffly at the back, her disapproval palpable. After the play, she cornered Marcus, warning about board concerns and stock prices dropping due to his personal drama. My sons come first, Marcus said firmly. Mike interrupted, Daddy, did you see me scare the hunter? His innocent smile melted tension instantly. The family faced constant attacks, from his mother's reservations to Harrison's legal maneuvers trying to use Marcus's private life against him. But Marcus remained unwavering. He promised to protect his boys no matter WH.